वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2 and Text 7. Tataha samadhiyuktena kriya yogena kardamaha samprapede harim bhaktya prapanna varadashusham tataha samadhiyuktena kriya yogena kardamaha samprapade harim bhaktya prapanna varadashusham. Yuktena yogena namaha samprapede harim bhaktya panna varadashusham. Tataha, in that penance, samadhi yuktena, in trance, kriya yogena, by bhakti yoga worship, kardamaha, the sage Kardama, samprapede, served, harim, the personality of Godhead, bhaktya, in devotional service, prapanna, to the surrendered souls, varadashusham, the bestower of all blessings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Srila Prabhupada. Translation: during that period of penance, the sage Kardama, by worship through devotional service in trance, propitiated the Personality of Godhead, who is the quick bestower of all blessings upon those who flee to Him for protection. Please repeat: during that period of penance, the sage Kardama, by worship through devotional service in trance, propitiated the Personality of Godhead, who is the quick bestower of all blessings upon those who flee to Him for protection. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The significance of meditation is described here. Kardama Muni practiced mystic yoga meditation for 10,000 years just to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. Therefore, whether one practices yoga or speculates and does research to find God, one's efforts must be mixed with the process of devotion. Without devotion, nothing can be perfect. The target of perfection and realization is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that one who constantly engages in Krishna consciousness is the topmost yogi. The Personality of Godhead, Hari, also fulfills the desires of his surrendered devotee. One has to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Personality of Godhead, Hari or Krishna, in order to achieve real success. Devotional service or engagement in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and all other methods, although recommended, are indirect. In this age of Kali, the direct method is especially more feasible than the indirect because people are short living, their intelligence is poor, and they are poverty stricken and embarrassed by so many miserable disturbances. Lord Chaitanya therefore has given the greatest boon. In this age, one simply has to chant the holy name of God to attain perfection in the spiritual life. The words Samprapede Harim mean that in various ways, Kardama Muni satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari by his devotional service. Devotional service is also expressed by the word Kriya Yogena. Kardama Muni not only meditated but also engaged in devotional service. To attain perfection in yoga practice or meditation, one must act in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Remembering is meditation also. But who is to be remembered? One should remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only must one remember the Supreme Person, one must hear about the activities of the Lord and chant His glories. This information is in the authoritative scriptures. After engaging himself for 10,000 years in performing different types of devotional service, Kardama Muni attained the perfection of meditation, but that is not possible in this age of Kali, wherein it is very difficult to live for as much as 100 years. At the present moment, who will be successful in the rigid performance of the many yoga rules and regulations? Moreover, perfection is attained only by those who are surrendered souls. Where there is no mention of the Personality of Godhead, where is their surrender? And when there is no meditation upon the Personality of Godhead, where is the yoga practice? Unfortunately, people in this age, especially persons who are of a demoniac nature, want to be cheated. Thus, the Personality of Godhead sends great cheaters who mislead them in the name of yoga and render their lives useless and doomed. In Bhagavad Gita, therefore, it is clearly stated in the 16th chapter, verse 17, that rascals of self-made authority, being puffed up by illegally collected money, perform yoga without following the authoritative books. They are very proud of the money they have plundered from innocent persons who wanted to be cheated. The Sansta Bhaktivedanta Parpoto Majnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktive Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Nivishesha Shunavadi Pashtata Deshatarine Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Kardama Muni, his meditation and the significance of that meditation is explained here. Last verse we have seen Kardama Muni has gone to the banks of Saraswati in order to perform tapastepe, penance, austerity. And there, tataha samadhi yuktena, while performing his meditational activities, kriya yogena kardamaha, he also rendered devotional service to Krishna, to Hari. Samprapede harim bhaktya, by his devotion, he has satisfied Hari. He has pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead in so many ways. Prapanna Varada Shusham, who is known for blessing, bestower of all blessings, upon whom Prapanna, upon whom who flee to Hari for protection. Anybody who rushes to Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet, he gives immediately protection. So, we can see here the ultimate goal of meditation or ultimate goal of any perfection is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Almost in every page of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Prabhupada reminds us that whatever we do in order to attain perfection, the goal is not knowledge or some kind of a intellectual exercise, but it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. Prabhupada is summarizing that here, the target of perfection and realization. There are two things here. The target of perfection and realization is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So while we are trying to attain perfection in any area, we should know clearly that the target is the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada is saying, whether one practices yoga, speculates, does research to find God, one's efforts must be mixed with the process of devotion. Now, if the target is the Supreme Lord, then Krishna, he makes it very clear, if one wants to attain me, there is only one process, that is bhaktyamam abhijanati, only by devotion. Here bhakti is translated as devotional service. Bhakti yogena means the linking up process. Yoga means linking up process with Krishna. So, by doing devotional service, one gets linked up to Krishna. So, this is the scenario. So, here Kardama Muni is practicing meditation, but he knows that that is not self-sufficient to attain Krishna, Hari. So, he also rendered a lot of service. Kriya yogena Kardamaha samprapede harim bhaktya. He has performed a lot of devotional services. So, here an important point is tataha, this penance. During this period of penance, Kardama, he did penance for 10,000 years. Actually, unless one does penance or austerity, there is no possibility of reformation in his behavior. Nobody can become perfect, refine his consciousness without doing austerity or penance. Austerity by definition means accepting voluntarily some pain. This is austerity. Unless pain comes, nobody will reform. Intellectual clarity will not reform a person. For example, you ask anybody who is smoking or who is drinking, you ask him, he knows smoking is not good. In fact, on the box itself they have printed, the gory pictures of what is the end result of smoking. All those pictures are there. So he has intellectual clarity. But then he will not be able to change unless there is a pain. Pain is a powerful reformation. That's why austerity is recommended. Austerity is considered to be one of the pillars of Dharma, and it means that one has to voluntarily take austerity and reform his personality. Ashtanga Yoga is one such austerity. There are 8 angas of this 8 steps are there, where he takes a lot of pain in body and mind. For example, body in terms of eating, in terms of mating, absolutely sex is forbidden in Ashtanga Yoga. And he takes only raw food, fruits and whatever is available in the forest. So by this serious and severe austerity, and mind has to be controlled. He has to follow a lot of yam, niyam, lot of regulations. And then by all these things, his personality becomes purified. First 2 steps are this yama and niyama. There are a lot of regulations are there. And after that, he has to practice asana and ensure that the body is made comfortable, or controlled. For example, there is one asana called Sukhasana. When somebody comes to that, there is no pain, pains are experienced. That's called comfortable asana. And then he has to control his senses. First airs, pranayam, then senses, pratyahar. If you remember the chariot example, you start controlling the horses, and then now come to the mind, that is the reins, that is called pratyahar. Then that is called dharana. Then there is a dhyana, concentration of the consciousness. On whom? On Hari, on the Supreme Lord who is present in the heart. So if you see, Ashtanga Yoga is an indirect process. You have to control a lot of things and finally focus consciousness on Krishna. But that is an indirect process. In Bhakti, we directly fix consciousness on Krishna without any jugglery. Directly, the consciousness is focused on Krishna. That's why Prabhupada is saying, Bhakti is a direct method. How is it that we are directly focusing on Krishna? So, in order to help the devotee to directly touch Krishna, the deities are installed. The form in the temple, the form of the Lord in the temple is a direct method. And if you remember him, it is a direct method. Whereas a yogi, to see the Lord in the heart, he has to do a lot of things, lot of austerity. And then finally, he will be able to focus his consciousness on the Supreme Lord. But in Bhakti, what happens? Directly we come in contact with Krishna. Particularly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Same Radha Govinda in the Shabda Rupa. They give association to the devotees. Jai Radha Govinda. So, this is direct method. Indirect methods will not work. There is so much propaganda about yoga, as if that is going to give perfection to everybody. First of all, there is no mention of Harim Samprapede, where is the satisfaction of Hari considered? There is no satisfaction. And then, secondly, Prabhupada is mentioning here, indirect methods will not apply because people are short living. Who has so much time to spend for all these 8 yogic steps and finally able to concentrate on Krishna? Not possible. And then their intelligence is poor, they cannot understand what is a bona fide method and what is non-bona fide method. They will not be able to understand. People are so, their intelligence is not sharp. And then poverty stricken. Most of the people are poverty stricken. They are not in a peace of mind where they can focus on higher things. They are struggling for day-to-day stuff. Worried about the next month's salary or the next day's food. This is the scenario. Then how can they focus? In India, at least now more and more people are coming into middle class, and middle class is burgeoning, that means it's becoming bigger and bigger. In one sense, there is a little hope that they may focus on higher things. They are not worried about their food, so now the next thing will be, the next propensity will be to ask some little higher questions. What is life? What is the goal of my life? So it's a favorable circumstance, but not necessarily that they will all become devotees. Anybody can become devotee. So indirect methods, if you are a poverty stricken, not possible, because you are worried about so many things. But direct method, in bhakti, none of these are obstacles. You don't have to have a very great intelligence. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am His humble servant. That's all, over. There is no, and then I have to render my devotional service to Him. How to render service? He applies whatever intelligence he has and he does to his best capacity, that is. But whereas indirect methods, you will be embarrassed by so many miserable disturbances. And even poverty is not an obstacle. People can, anybody can take up chanting. So here, in Ashtanga Yoga, there is a voluntary austerity for body and mind. Now some people, Prabhupada is mentioning here, some people want to understand God by research, by intellectual speculations. So they take a lot of austerity in order to understand what is the truth. The real jnanis are behind the truth. We want to understand what is truth, and so they do a lot of research. Sometimes they don't even eat properly. They're so absorbed. They spend so many hours. Sometimes they sleep late. Really austere. But they will not be successful if they do not add bhakti in their process. The Maya will mislead them to think in an atheistic way, independent of God. And these people who want to work hard, they will take austerity in the Karma Yoga. So there is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. They are all systematic processes for taking austerity and finally to reach God. They are authorized. Karma Yogis are advised. You can work hard, you earn money, but that money doesn't belong to you. That money you have to give it away to Krishna. Moment you say money doesn't belong, then nobody wants to work. Why people are working so hard? Because they can make millions and billions. They say, yes, I am. So, their austerity is to keep working despite results doesn't belong to them. They're very important. This karma tendency should not come into devotees' mind. That this is mine. This is I and mine. Oh, we give up many I and minds, and after coming here, we think this is mine. We develop a lot of it, particularly my contact. I am a devotee, and then I will not give to anybody. I will not do this, I will not do that. These are petty considerations. You have nothing to actually hold anything in this world. We are only custodians. Something comes to us, we manage that for the service of the Lord, for the service of the institution, and then sometimes we may have to move on. Today you have this service, tomorrow you may have some other service. So, this karma contamination should not be entertained. Similarly, jnana contamination means to speculate, some theorizing. So much hard work I have to do to get this intellect, and I am very smartly I have got all these things. So it is very important that I have complete control. I will not even disclose to anybody. I will not even make it clear in DCC. I don't want to even make anybody to meet. Only me. These are all very dangerous contaminations. Now, devotion means what then? What is the austerity in devotional path? Kriya yogena. What is the austerity here? Here it is mentioned. Prapanna, surrender. Bhakti means one should give up his independent mentality. This is bhakti. You cannot keep your independent mentality. I will do whatever I want, and then I don't want to surrender to anybody. Then that is that is not bhakti. Bhakti means here it is a samprapede prapanna varadashusham. One should be surrendered soul, surrendered to the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. This is the austerity here. We don't want to, but we are supposed to do if we want varadashusham, blessings from the Supreme Lord. Out of all these paths, in karma, jnana, or ashtanga, there is a sense of independence is there. On my ability, I will reach God. Some people don't even think of God. Completely no God at all. We go to some yoga, institution, the big names are there. Anyway, I don't want to mention. And then if you go there, you don't even see one picture of Hari. There is no mention of Hari or Krishna. Nothing. So such godless yoga no use. But then they will be very popular and proud. Why are they proud? Because they have plundered money from innocent people. Nicely they have plundered. Each package they will get some thousands and thousands. Each person's whatever that is, they'll get thousands, and then they're happy. They're happy because they plundered money. These innocent people are happy because they got cheated nicely, and both are happy each other. Cheaters and cheated. This is what it is. But actually bhakti means there should be prapanna. Surrender should be. If we keep our independent nature, if you keep your own independent system, without surrendering to Krishna, actually that is not bhakti. That is not bhakti, you are doing something. Bhakti means one has to surrender to Guru. Surrender to Krishna means surrender to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada has given, his system of management, his system of executing services, all has to be followed. By surrendering like that, we will advance in our perfection of life. Without that, our endeavors to perfect Bhakti Yoga will be baffled. We will not understand what's happening. And we will not be able to progress. So that's why here it is mentioned, Prabhupada is mentioning, anything that you may do, add bhakti, and bhakti means surrender to the system. Guru and Krishna have decided something, and so I have to follow. Even if I don't believe, or I am not understood, but still a devotee with a simple heart, he just surrenders to the system that is given. That's all. In that sense, you don't require big intelligence. The highly intelligent personality of Godhead is there, and his highly intelligent Guru is there. They know what is what, and they have decided something. What is my teeny intelligence to understand? Let me just stick on to this process, and then I will be successful. That's all. This is all a simple devotee requires. But somebody has an intellectual craving, he can understand. The science of God, science of Krishna is given so nicely in Prabhupada books. So there is an opportunity to utilize our intelligence, our tendency for hard work, and our tendency to take a lot of austerities on body and mind. All these things can be engaged, and we can advance in our spiritual life. But one should not concoct the austerities. One should follow, give up his independent mentality and follow Prabhupada's system of austerity. The first austerity is to come for Mangalarati and then chant our 16 rounds, and then here there are a lot of, but all these austerities, they are divine. They are directly connected to Krishna, very intelligently packed. Ashtanga Yoga, when you are pressing your nose and doing all this breathing, where is Krishna? But let us say you are circumambulating Tulasi, directly Krishna. You are watching Mangalarati, directly Krishna. You are chanting, touching Krishna. You are doing Sankirtan, touching Krishna. You are honoring Prasad, touching Krishna. See, everywhere Krishna, 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 Krishna. This is direct method. All the other jugglery is indirect and will not lead you anywhere. If you want perfection, then take to direct method. Surrender all other things and surrender to the direct method. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
శ్రీకృష్ణుణ్ణి చేరుకోవడానికి, కృష్ణ భక్తిని అందరికీ అందించటానికి బృందావనం వైపు ఉరకలేస్తున్న యమునోత్రి. విష్ణుపాదమే తన పుట్టినిల్లుగా కైలాసం చేరుకోవడానికి పరుగులు తీస్తున్న గంగోత్రి. కురుక్షేత్ర ఘోరహత్యా పాపం శంకరుణ్ణి శాంతపరచడం లక్ష్యంగా పాండవులు నిర్మించిన కేదార్నాథ్. సమస్త సాధు పుంగవులకు, ఋషులకు ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధన స్ఫూర్తినిచ్చే నరనారాయణులను నడయాడిన ప్రదేశం బద్రీనాథ్.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి